Greetings, family. Welcome to another episode of Healing Families. This is Mr. Foster, together with Ndutu Foster. We are your hosts. We hope that once again we'll be able to create conversation about issues affecting our families and relationships. Today's topic is the personality dynamics in relationships. In other words, we're going to be examining how personality traits affect relationships in the home, between the couple, and also with the children, and at the workplace, and in general, in any organization.
You'll find that when people talk about personality, they use the word character and also temperament interchangeably. And yet, character, temperament is not personality. Those are aspects of personality. Character, for example, refers to the moral, ethical, and social beliefs as well as attitudes. And yet, temperament refers to the physical, to the mental, to the emotional and biological pattern of a person, and how that person, those things interact and help that person to respond or react to his or her environment. So today we would like to speak about this aspect of personality, temperament, and how it affects our relationships. There are 4 kinds of temperaments: sanguine, melancholy, choleric, phlegmatic. What else? Choleric. And we want for today to contrast choleric and phlegmatic, because these temperaments, they are interesting in a relationship. One of the things, for example, about people who have got this trait or temperament, phlegmatic, they avoid conflict and don't want confrontation. That has got its own advantages and disadvantages, and this is opposite the choleric. But let us look at the phlegmatic person. For example, if a phlegmatic person, we say they avoid conflicts and confrontation, how does that play in a relationship of both parents, for example?
This is the kind of person who, in a situation at home, would rather overlook something wrong done just to keep the peace. In other words, for example, you could be having a misunderstanding with the in-laws. The phlegmatic temperament person would say, "Now just ignore it. Don't pay attention to it. It's gonna pass." Even with a child, that parent who's phlegmatic will not react immediately or will tend to downplay what has happened.
They minimize the problem because they are avoiding. And now there is a problem with this. For example, if we say, for example, the person who's got that temperament is the husband, for example, the other person, the wife, will accumulate those ill feelings. And as the time goes on, that person is going to explode. When the husband, for example, does a mistake and does something which is offending to the wife now will respond or react in a way that when you look at it, the husband, it's just a little thing that the husband did, but the wife is overreacting because she's been, bearing all those ill feelings, and now hence, you know, the wife is exploding. So it affects their relationship and makes it difficult now in terms of resolving conflict, in terms of relating to each other, and in terms of communicating.
Yeah. Furthermore, this person with the phlegmatic temperament will have ill feelings because issues have not been resolved. As much as they said, no, it's fine, let's leave it. But deep down, that issue, they take that conflict with them to bed. They accumulate these ill feelings, and their relationships are affected, they're poisoned.
Yeah, the relationship now is toxic. Yes. You'll find how does it play in terms of, for example, the children. The parent who has got that phlegmatic temperament, you'll find that when kids are doing something wrong, you know, that parent will turn a blind eye, you know, to that child and let the other parent to deal with it. So, and not take responsibility in terms of confronting the child, in terms of really disciplining, you know, the child. Now the other parent ends up being seen by the child as a monster, or this parent who is strict or not understanding, you know.
I'm reminded of childhood, you know, situations where, for example, the mother will say, I'm going to report you to your father.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, you're spending your afternoon anxious that as the day draws to a close, or dad is coming home, you're scared because you know dad is going to deal with you, which is not a healthy situation.
Yes, it's really not a healthy situation. And you'll find as well that kids are also manipulators, you know, and they study you parents. They know the parent who is strict and the parent who is not strict. And you'll find that when they are left with this parent who's not strict, they are going to do all the wrong things. They are going to break the rules. They know that they will get away with this parent. And when the other one comes, you know, she does not understand, why did you let the kids do this and that, you know?
Yeah, even in terms of the rules, for example, like TV, you'll be allowed to watch beyond the cut-off time because that parent does not want to rock the boat. Even in the work situation, the same thing applies. The phlegmatic individual will, you know, tolerate things that they're not happy with just to keep the peace.
Yes, they like to make peace. They are peacemakers in inverted commas. They will tolerate, you know, and not say and express themselves and say and be assertive and say that they are not happy, you know, with this and that when dealing and relating to colleagues, and also with friendships as well. And as the time goes on, you'll find that now she or he is not enjoying this friend, you know, because he or she has accumulated all, you know, these feelings and is not expressing, so that they talk it out, you know, and resolve the issues. Let's look as well as at this person in terms of patience.
Oh, yes. The choleric person is impatient. They are very quick. They react quickly without even processing things properly, fully. They respond. Before you even complete what you're saying, they already have an answer for you. Whereas the phlegmatic person is slow, they take their time, they don't react quickly.
Yes, they are slow moving, they don't react quickly, and yet a choleric person is quick, you know, to react, and is also impatient. And because he's impatient, when people do not, measure up to their standards, they don't understand, and as a result, they can ruin relationships. You'll find that a choleric person, for example, if we can look at the child, when the child, for example, is not performing at school, the choleric person will not understand, and not be patient. Why don't you study your books so that you can pass this and that? The phlegmatic person will be patient, with that child. And in that patience, at the back of this of her mind, for example, it's a matter of, okay, maybe this child is experiencing other things, that make her, to not be able to achieve. So he will have patience. Maybe this child is slow in learning, grasp things, concepts, slowly, is a slow learner. She will be patient. What happens when a teacher has got a temperament that is
I was
phlegmatic?
thinking just about that, Doc, because if a teacher has got this phlegmatic as opposed to choleric temperament, the way they deal with their learners will be different.
Yeah.
The choleric teacher will not understand why you're taking forever to understand. I've repeated myself, why don't you understand what I'm saying? And not think about the learner could be having a problem back at home. The learner could be upset with something today. They just want the answer now, and it must be correct first time. Whereas the phlegmatic teacher will take time and wait until the learner reaches the understanding of what has been taught in class.
Yes, the teacher will be patient, and try this and that to make the child understand. The choleric people are goal-oriented and results-driven, and are so focused. And are high achievers. So with that result-driven, so they don't understand why this child is not just moving fast, and they are quick also to react. So you'll find that this temperament is really having a play here in this child.
Yeah, look, even in relationships, I'm reminded of a situation where this choleric person is married to a person who's phlegmatic. The tendency is to label. Because you are slow, you're taking longer to respond. Why don't you respond quickly? Let's solve this problem quick. Here's the answer. You're taking forever. Here's the answer. And label that person, sometimes creating misunderstandings. Whereas the phlegmatic, before I give you, Doc, is thorough. Okay. That's the strength of a phlegmatic in this situation. They are thorough. They process information fully. This one, yes, may come up with an answer, but it's not a fully processed answer.
Because they are quick to react, what you are saying, because they are quick to react, they may miss out some things which are important. And also because they are so quick, they may not really listen fully to what the other person, is being said, And others, they would even say what, and finish your sentence. And finish your sentence, yes. Let us look at other aspects of the phlegmatic person and the choleric person. Choleric people have got leadership tendencies. People who are leaders, they tend to have a choleric temperament. But not everybody with the choleric temperament has got a leadership, in him or her. So just let's talk more about this person with leadership tendencies.
That's a very interesting one again, because this choleric person, as you correctly said, they may not be occupying a leadership position, but the tendency is to offer opinions before they're asked for their opinion. They tend to want to solve problems. And people who are not choleric, who don't understand this temperament, may misunderstand and misinterpret this person as wanting to control the organization or control other people, whereas this person, the tendency is to want to solve problems.
And when they see a vacuum, because they are so forward, they like to volunteer, to volunteer and come up with plans and come up with ideas. They are also strong-willed. And we also do find the children who are strong-willed. Why? And, they with strong opinions. Those are cholerics. But what I like about them in this leadership position, they are decisive. And you are not confused with them in terms of the rules and regulations and what is expected from you. You know exactly what is expected. Oh, they like giving orders. Yeah, they like, and you must obey.
And you know where you stand with them.
Yeah.
That's another beautiful thing.
Yes.
There's no gray area. It's either black or white.
Yeah.
But the downside of that kind of temperament is it's not always black and white. There may be other colors, like gray is a color. There are situations where it's, this temperament can create conflicts because you're not giving other people the benefit of the doubt.
You are, for example, also you can ruin relationships because you are insensitive, to people, and coupled as well with that impatience and not them, measuring up to your standards. But what is nice is that they are decisive and assertive, and yet the flaw with the other one is in that slow moving, in that indecisiveness, because they are indecisive, are not assertive. They may end up actually missing out on opportunities.
Yes.
So that's a flaw. By the way, there is no right temperament, there is no wrong temperament. Each one has got its own benefits and weak points. But what I like as well about phlegmatic, they are easygoing and they are calm. And yet this one, the other ones, choleric, they stress, man.
They want results.
They stress a lot because they want results. But what I like, when they start a project, they see to finish, and also they make it a point, and they are not discouraged by adversities. In fact, they want to prove a point to you that they can do it, that they will achieve despite these adversities. So they are not really discouraged by adversities. But phlegmatic people are dependable. You know that when you have given them a task, they are going to do it, that task. And the choleric people, they are independent. They don't need to be to babysit them. When they are given something, they just run with it and achieve and give you the results.
If you have a project at your school, for example, as a principal, you can always count on this person. They can run with whatever. You don't have to micromanage them in your organization. In fact, they resist micromanagement. They want to be left on their own so that they can do. Just be clear about what you want achieved and leave them to the task.
And they are independent because they are independent. Phlegmatic, people, yes, they are dependable. They are also practical people. And they are nice as well to work with in a team because they are team players, They do their work and try to rally others in terms of doing the work because they've got that thing of trying to, when an environment is hostile, they try to diffuse things. And we know that in team, in teams, sometimes we bump into each other, sometimes we rub each other the other way because we've got different temperaments. So they will be there to diffuse the situation and try, to rally people so that we do what is needed to be done in the team and deliver the results. When I look at the choleric parent in terms of the children, when it comes to parenting, they are strict, they are authoritarian. But it's nice because, as well, on the other side, children know exactly the rules. They know exactly what they are allowed to do and what they are not allowed, to do. But they can be tough people, choleric person. A child cannot come and say, and come crying and they have been beaten in the street when they were playing with other children and all that stuff. Why are you not fighting? Other parents will say, why are you not fighting for yourself? Don't come back here and report, you must solve your own, try and see how you deal with that. Try and deal, with it. This can, to the emotions of the child, this can have a negative, effect. And also we must know that children are different. We've got as adults these temperaments, but these temperaments, remember, also have also a genetic aspect to them. So the children you may have in your family, children who are phlegmatic, you can have children who are choleric, as well as siblings, for that matter. So this helps us to understand, when we're dealing with our friends, and when we are dealing with our bosses as well. A boss who's choleric, a boss who's phlegmatic, and a boss who's got that phlegmatic, temperament can be frustrating to work with. For example, because he may be doing things so slowly and you want, things to be done, and move.
Yeah, because just as a way of an example, the phlegmatic leader may be taking forever to decide. They are indecisive. They have to consult everybody and take forever to calculate. Whereas the choleric leader, 1 + 1, immediately they know. Before you even, they've got the answer. And in your team, if you have that kind of a person and you are a phlegmatic leader, that person may be frustrated and offer themselves as an alternative leader, unconsciously, not because they want to be leaders. Here as well, because the tendency is with people who have these kinds of temperaments in their teams, they see this choleric person, they think this one wants to use their power. This is a power monger. This person wants to control. He is not elected, they don't need to be elected. It's just in their nature. But remember we said some of these temperaments, 50 to 60%, they're born with. But there's the other percentage.
Yes, one study, for example, documents 20 to 60%, another 50 to 60% is genetic, which means that the other percentage, which is not genetic, we cannot hide behind that thing which says, I'm like this, I cannot change, and be stubborn. When we relate with people, we need to be able to regulate ourselves. We need to learn how, for example, to interact with other people. There are those things really that we can change. There are those we cannot change, but we can try, because we must be able to relate, with other people. And also life experiences will give us a big, will deal a big blow on us if we do not learn to regulate these temperaments, because people will run away. At the end of the day, you won't be able to form good relationships. You'll find that your relationships do not last because you do not want, to learn to interact with other people and compromise. This thing is saying of temperaments, we must be able to understand each other, understand our siblings, understand our children, that our children are not the same.
Yes, please.
And not want our children to be like us or want our partners to be like us. We must understand them. From understanding with them, then we are able to communicate with them better. We are able, even when we have a conflict, to resolve it better, because from our understanding, we are able to sit down and say, how can we meet each other in the midway?
Yes, and for us as parents, this is very important, that we're saying, as we draw to the conclusion, don't compare your children. They have different temperaments. One child may be quiet, preferring to be by themselves, whereas the other one is a live wire. They are energetic. They, you can observe right from 18 months that this child prefers to sit alone and be quiet in the room, whereas the other one wants to go and play. They are full of energy.
Is friendly, is not afraid of strangers, will smile, and try to communicate, with them, is social, for example. So you can see even when they are little, their temperaments. Other child, you'll find that when the caregiver is not there, the child panics, the child gets upset, and the other child is just calm, a calm child. By the way, phlegmatics are also people who are calm.
Very calm.
Yeah, they are calm. So the other one is calm. This child does not get upset, does not panic. Remember, each and every person has got some aspects from other temperaments. We said there are 4 temperaments: sanguine, melancholy, phlegmatic, choleric. You do have aspects from other temperaments, but there is this dominant one. For example, a dominant one to you may be choleric temperament, or a phlegmatic, or a sanguine, or a melancholy. When we meet again, we will discuss now melancholy and sanguine temperaments. Remember, we said that temperaments are aspects of personality. They influence personality, just like character. And personality consists of temperament, character, interest, preferences, beliefs, thoughts, emotional patterns, interest, and all that. So it's factors, and personality develops over time, and it changes as we develop and then we become, it is a sum of all these other factors. Thank you, till we meet again.